This is wild. The real estate market in Washington, D.C. and neighboring areas is exploding with new listings, meaning everybody is putting their house up for sale. And you might wonder, why is that? Well, people believe it's because 75,000 federal workers accepted President Trump's early buyout offer. After what DOJ discovered the USAID was spending money on, that workforce is expected to go from 10,000 down to 300. Just today, 1,300 federal employees that work for the CDC were laid off, and the IRS is expected to cut their workforce by 10%. And you also have the executive order that was signed to bring all federal employees to work back in the office. Currently in the Metro DC area, there are 5,581 homes for sale, and 2,183 of those were listed in the last month. This is the neighboring town of Arlington, Virginia. In the past 48 hours, look at all of the new listings. You can see them because they're tagged with that green coming soon sign. It's looking like a mass exodus from Washington, D.C. and the neighboring areas. And some might say this is what draining the swamp looks like. What do you think? As always, let me know down below.
So the DC housing market has truly been falling apart. And this video was posted back in March. And I know this has been a couple months later, but guys, the layoffs have not stopped. Like, there's literally been more layoffs every single day I'm looking at. Like, they just laid off the IRS department a couple days ago. Like, guys, it's still continuing over and over and over again. And effect of that is destroying the housing market. You see all these listings over in DC. Now, let me know in the comment section below if you live within the DC area. I'm just seeing what's out there in the world right now. I see it all over the news, all over, social media. People are talking about they're just moving out of DC. Like, they can't afford it because they don't have a job. Most people within that area, they live there because of the security. Like, when you think about the security of the jobs within the government, it was always a known thing to see that people stayed in those jobs for years, even sometimes decades. So now that they're being laid off or fired or even, accepted some severance package or something like that, they're leaving. They have to sell the house, or they get foreclosed on or defaulted on their loan or whatever the case is, but they're not in those homes anymore. And now you see millions of houses in that area, not millions, but thousands of houses being posted at one time. Is causing that whole market to crash. Now, hey, let me know in the comment section below, guys. Do you think the housing market is going to crash within that area? At the end of the day, I want to be able to buy a house. I don't know if it's just DC or if it's all over. I even see Florida. I'm in Florida right now, and there's tons of houses. I'm just riding around and just tons of houses for sale. And y'all know I made that video a couple of weeks ago about the Florida housing market. And I don't know, listen, it's a lot of houses for sale right now. But do I think it's going to be a crash? I wouldn't necessarily say that right now. It's too hard to really pinpoint. But hey, the more layoffs that happen, the more people start to sell their house, the more supply that comes into the market, the more chances we have for the housing market to truly fall apart. But hey, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about this Washington, D.C. housing market. Do you think it's going to crash, or do you think it's just a little blip within time right now? But hey, I got more videos in here that are going to blow your mind. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more great content like this. Let's get to the rest of the video.
The DC housing market is about to get wild. 280,000 people, roughly speaking, live in the Washington, D.C. area right now and work specifically for the federal government. If you like math, that's about 21% of D.C.'s population. According to Donald Trump's website, he wants to move up to 100,000 government positions out of Washington. That's about 7% of D.C.'s total population. There's also rumors floating around Washington that they could eliminate up to 75% of all government agencies. Let's say that cuts a third of all government jobs. Depending on how all this shakes out, we could see 200,000 less jobs 4 years from now in DC than we've got right now. That means lots of homes could be coming up on the market in the next 2 years here in DC. But with no jobs, who's going to buy them? My guess is that homeowners here in DC are not going to be happy with their home values.
We are at risk of losing affordable units because too many people aren't paying their rent. The financial strain on housing providers threatens property maintenance, security, and sustainability. In fact, DC has become a national outlier with economic vacancy.
The mayor warned of an impending affordable housing crisis if action isn't taken. Citywide, as much as 20% of tenants are behind in their rent. The new legislation would also reduce some tenants' rights when their apartment buildings are being sold.
Wait a second, why is nobody talking about what's happening with the housing market in DC and around DC? There have been 4,271 houses up for sale in just the last 14 days. Naturally, I ran to Zillow and looked for myself, and it was showing me 7,200 houses for sale in and around the DC area. And just for reference, there was only 2,100 homes for sale in January. So why are so many people selling their house? Well, for starters, 75,000 federal workers took President Trump's early buyout. Another reason could be because DOJ is cracking down on U.S. aid and trying to get their entire workforce under 300 people. And if you haven't heard of the layoffs that happened before the week of Valentine's Day, this was 1,000 people that were laid off from the Department of Veteran Affairs. HHS will be laying off nearly 5,200 employees. Here's another website that shows coming soons. Like, this is insane. This is also in light of the federal mandate to go back to the office. I've already seen some people talk about this as draining the swamp. If you are somebody who is looking to buy in this area, it's about to be a really hot buyer's market. And if you are looking to buy and get pre-approved, I am accepting new clients. And lucky for you, I'm personally licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. I'm actually from Maryland, so I know this area pretty well. And if you're a seller looking to move, I guess I also know some of the best real estate agents and I can connect you. What do you guys think about all of this? Let me know in the comments.
This is the worst housing market that America has ever seen. Let me paint a better picture for you. I'm newly engaged and me and my fiance are looking for a starter home so that we can build some roots. We'd eventually start our family here. We'd have barbecues in the back. We'd get a fenced-in backyard for the dog. It would be incredible. But then this happened. $333,000 for a 1,000 square foot house. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's not so bad. Let me show you. This home that sold for $333,000, that was listed for $239,000, sold for $150,000 back in 2018 with no major improvements. In 2025, with a $333,000 sale price, 6% down and a 6.6% rate, gives you a payment of $2,250. But back in 2018, with a $150,000 sale price, 6% down and a 4.5% rate, gives you a payment of $859. The couple that buys this home today needs to have a household income of $125,000 a year, when the couple that bought this 1,000 square foot house back in 2018 needed a household income of $55,000. In 2025, $150,000 gets you this today in the same town. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, that's not so bad. This is what the inside looks like. So yes, that statement I made in the beginning is absolutely true. This is the worst housing market that America has ever seen. And for people like me who are trying to buy in, we are getting screwed. Like, follow, comment, and let me know what things are like in your town.
No offense to anybody who has a house like that or has a house that looks similar to that within that price range or whatever the case is. Like, I love my ranches out here, but that house is nowhere near worth $300,000. I would never spend $300,000 on a house like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, think about the market and the housing market in real estate today. Like, what if the market has a correction? What are these people gonna do? Like, when the houses are valued this high right now, this moment, they're super overvalued. So if the market ever corrects, you're talking about slicing it in half, because a couple years ago it literally sold for $130,000. That is insane to see that the house is selling for $300,000. But hey, I don't know. It just depends on the area that it is, how close it is to the city. Some cities like Atlanta, if the closer you get into the city and within the metropolitan area, like, it gets more expensive. That's the honest truth about it. So it could be just in whatever area it is. So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, what do you think is going to happen to the housing market within the next couple months? I'm very curious. I've been following this DC housing market for a couple months now. I just finally decided to make a video about it because, hey, the layoffs are still happening. It's getting even worse. So, hey, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you next video. We out. Let's go.